and so many VIPs have come from different segments. Mr. Bharat also is there, Achiredi garu, my friend, and print and electronic media. Andarki namaskaram. Before I start, మీ అందరికీ రాబోయే బ్రతుకమ్మ దసరా శుభాకాంక్షలు తెలియజేసుకుంటూ చాలా చక్కగా జరుపుకోవాలని కూడా అందరినీ కోరుకుంటున్నాను. So Mr. Andrew, let's talk business only, as Mr. Nasir Ali Khan has rightly said. When Mr. Achiredi garu has called me and said that you have to come for inauguration of a wooden, I was already told by Mr. Nasir Ali Khan that he is going to construct a wooden house. So I was eagerly waiting for that, but I was not aware that I am going to come and inaugurate it. Thanks for it. Thanks for the invite, Mr. Achiredi garu also. So, but when these people are talking about the concept of wood, the construction of wooden houses in India, honestly, I was taken aback, because that concept of wooden houses, which was there in our ancient times, during our olden days, all the houses were constructed with wood only. Wood, you will not believe, with the cow dung and the mud. So the way we were constructing wooden houses, left, right and center, all the wood, I think it got exhausted and it got extinct also. So from then we took a step back, saying that this is very dangerous, because for the days to come, for the generations to come, we are accountable and answerable. Whereas if all the wood goes as an extinct, then it will be difficult for us to survive. So those were the days wherein we have started. As far as the wooden concept is concerned, I was talking to Pranish at length during the last 1 hour. He was briefing me about the concept of wood, the systems, the legalities of importing wood from other countries to this country. I really appreciate that. The only thing what we didn't have and what you have in your country is that for all the wood what we have cut, we have never planted plants during those days. And he says that only 1% of the forest can be cut every year, whereas we never had any limits for that. I'll tell you very honestly, to be a confession, today also getting a teak wood for the furniture in India, even including me also, is very difficult to get it efficient. So that is the situation wherein we lie. We know that wood is definitely a classy thing, a royal thing, and the elegant look what we get can be brought only with the wood, but the only availability was an issue for us. We know that it is a good insulator for heat and cold, and as far as the architect is concerned, the architect also will love to go for the wooden structures, because he can play around with the architecture also, whereas when it comes to concrete structure, it's very difficult. Whereas now we have become accustomed to all the concrete houses here. You go anywhere in the country, it is 100% of the concrete structures only. And second thing, when it comes to straight to the construction of a house also, I was talking to Mr. Achiredi. Achiredi has said that the cost of the wooden house is definitely more when compared to concrete. And when it comes to constructing a house, you take any Indian, you take any Telanganite. I come from this region, this is called as Telangana, and I extend a very warm welcome from this area personally, because I'll be also asking you for certain business for my state of Telangana. So when it comes to an Indian, the nature of the Indian the psyche of the nature is, we always go for the bargaining part. Let it be whatever material, right from sand, stone or concrete, cement or the wood or anything. People generally bargain things here. So that people have to come out of that concept, people have to come out of that mode to take a step ahead and go for wooden houses. Because we should not think of costing when it comes to wooden houses, as Mr. Achiredi was saying, almost 150 times avutundata manaki wooden houses. So the people should be ready, people should understand the concept. My only concern is, whenever we make wooden furniture, basically wood in India is used for either furniture or for the cupboards here. So whenever we have the wooden furniture or wooden cupboards, people talk about termites. I don't know how you are going to take care of that. And we have too much of variations of temperatures here, the extreme weathers, extreme cold. It was raining on the road, on the outer ring road when I was coming in, it is so hot here. So these fluctuation of weathers and too much of rains, the moisture will definitely increase in moisture will definitely result in the swelling of the wood. That is what we have a concept. You have to enlighten us about that thing. And the general expansion also. Most of the doors which were made of wood generally expand during winter. and it becomes very difficult for us to close the doors also. That is the concept what we have. So we have to come out of that thing also. And I was told that the maintenance also is on the higher side when compared to the concrete houses. We have to address that issue. And when it comes to combustible also, we all know that wood is combustible. We have to take care of that part also. When you look into the other side, I definitely know that the architects will love to design the houses for their customers with wood. We know that it is a good insulator. We know that the tensile strength of the wood is also very high. The only thing is, for the destroying of the wood, we have to add some preservatives in India. So if you look into all these concepts, if you can address these issues, I think definitely the days to come, people would definitely love to have wooden houses, including me also. So I was already talking to Mr. Pranish and Andrew while inaugurating that generally wooden houses make too much of sound during nights or whatever it is. So when we walk also, the down floor people will generally feel the sound. But as Mr. Pranish has said, that is not going to happen with the wood what they are going to supply to India. So as far as the things are concerned, things are definitely rosy in India, because if you can give us the technical expertise, the knowledge, the construction of houses, generally people in India say that you just show something to the Indians, they'll fight it. చిన్నప్పుడు నన్ను అంటోళ్ళంగా చూపెడితే కాల్ చేస్తాం మేము అని చెప్పి. So that is the nature what the Indians have. So just give us the technical know-how, the training part, we'll definitely go ahead with that. I can assure you from the government side of government of Telangana, and also being a member of parliament, I can as well address it in Delhi part also. What all support you need to from our side, from the government side, to import wood from Canada, and my only request is it has to be cost effective. As far as the duties are concerned, the structure, I don't know what structure do they have, but if we can definitely influence upon saying that, because as Mr. Pranish was saying, if we can focus on the wooden part, the stress on the sand and the availability of stone also will go down. There is too much of stress for the availability of sand and stone here. So if you can address one issue, the other issues will be addressed, including water also. As he was saying, kinda concrete dappa mottam wooden tote chestunaru villu. సో మనకు ఆ స్ట్రెంత్ మనకు వీ హ్యావ్ ద ఇష్యూస్, మనకు ఇసుక దొరకట్లేదు, స్టోన్ దొరకట్లేదు, వాటర్ ఇష్యూస్, ఇవన్నీ ఉన్నాయి. ఈ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ డెఫినెట్గా అడ్రస్ చేసుకోగలుగుతాం. సో విషింగ్ యూ ఆల్ ద బెస్ట్, గుడ్ లక్, అండ్ ఐ 100% extend the whole support from this government and from the government of India. Whatever best opportunities we have, we'll definitely give you. But in return, let me talk also business. I was told that Canada is definitely a very rich country, and we would definitely look into investments from your side into this state of Telangana. Because this is the youngest state which was formed in the country, and the way it is growing in multifold activities, you name any segment, we are number one. Let it be real estate, let it be IT sector, the pharma business, the education business, medical hub, all segments we are doing. Agriculture, we are doing wonders in agriculture also. So I honestly request, I'll come to you, I'll meet you in Delhi also, but we are looking forward for that. Thank you, good luck to you all.
Thank you very much, Ranjit. Very interesting questions, and I'm sure we have answers for all of them. Andrew Smith is Minister Commercial, High Commission of Delhi. He is also an architect. And thank you so much, Andrew, for joining us today for the inauguration. I'm honored to have you with us. I'd like you to say a few words to the media and also to my friends. Thank you, Andrew.
Good afternoon. And to our special guest of honor as well, Dr. Reddy, let me assure you that Telangana is in our heart as well. My colleague Vikram Jain here heads up our trade office. We've made a commitment to the state, so we will be here for the long term. Let me begin by thanking and congratulating Mr. Nasser Ali Khan for this project, to establish the Canadian Villa Wood project here at BTR Gardens. I wish you all the success with this project. And to Pranish, to Peter and Stan, for all of your hard work and dedication to the promotion of Canadian technologies, Canadian wood, and Canadian know-how in making this happen and bringing it to the Pearl City of Hyderabad. I can assure you that this project is in my heart as well. As was mentioned, I come from the Faculty of Architecture. My wife is a graduate from architecture, and my father-in-law was one of the big housing developers. But my role today is to talk about Canada and India. So as many will know, we enjoy a very robust relationship. But we are poised to build an even stronger and deeper relationship following COVID. And sustainable housing could be one of those planks that goes forward as our relationship builds. But let me talk briefly about the significance of the Canada-India relationship. This is an economic relationship that is approaching $100 billion now. If we look at the trade in goods and services, if we look at investments two-way, remittances, the students going from India to Canada, it now approaches $100 billion. Our relationship pre-COVID, in terms of economic figures, was exceeding every metric. In 5 years, trade increased 62%. Pre-COVID, India was one of our fastest growing major trade partners. Our foreign and trade ministers speak regularly, and our prime ministers also communicate. In fact, the last major foreign visit to Canada pre-COVID was Minister Jai Shankar. Throughout the COVID pandemic, our governments have extended strong support for one another. Whether it was the exchange of pharmaceuticals and medical devices when each country needed, to the repatriation of our citizens during the early days of the COVID lockdown. But each country has been there when the other needed it. Canada-India ties have tremendous social and cultural bonds. Canada is home to the 8th largest diaspora of Indians. India leads in every class of immigration to Canada now. Canada is also the favored destination for Indian students. 40% of students, international students in Canada, now come from India. And that total has surpassed the number of Indian students in the UK or Australia or even the USA now. Our trade cooperation with India and Canada has opened new channels and new sectors, particularly here in Hyderabad. My presence these last couple of days was to explore the pharmaceutical and life sciences sector, to which Hyderabad has clearly punched above its weight. But also in jewelry, mechanical appliances, aircraft, textiles, engineering, software, steel. We have a multitude of relationships across various sectors. From Canada, India acquires its wood pulp, electrical machineries, helicopters, fuels, fertilizer, pulses. In fact, SpiceJet is the second largest operator of Canadian aircraft, the Q400. Last week alone, I attended the North India Gem and Jewelry Trade Show in Delhi. It was my first in-person trade show. But did you know nearly $1 billion in Canadian diamonds makes its way into India every year? Our commercial priorities here in India are targeted at India's policy objectives and the sectors where Canada has a competitive advantage. So these priorities line up to supporting India's energy security ambitions, whether it's the increase in export of conventional and nuclear energy to the renewables, helping India meet its substantial urban and transportation infrastructure needs, whether it's the provision of investment, technology, or services or equipment. It's through enhanced education and skills training, through greater collaboration between Canadian and Indian academic institutions. Canada and India alone have over 600 education MOUs. It's the commercial research and development that takes place in the digital industries, the IoT, AI. Just last week alone, we had a bilateral cybersecurity event, Canada and India, and there was over 500 registrants. And it's also increasing food products and fertilizers to support India's food security needs. Canada is recognized as a global leader in sustainable forest management. And this is what our guest of honor was speaking about. Wood construction saves the resources such as water and sand that are in short supply here in India. Canadian forests meet the environmental, social, and economic needs of current, and they will for future generations. Our stringent forestry laws, skilled forestry professionals, comprehensive monitoring, compliance, enforcement all contribute to underlining our global reputation. So I would encourage Indian companies to learn more about sustainable housing or other sectors of interest as well, because both myself and Vikram are here to represent Canadian commercial interests in the region. Our expertise lies in infrastructure, education, automobiles, digital industries. There is huge areas for us to partner that relationship and to grow the economic strength of our countries. That Ali Khan with the Canadian BTR. Thank you very much.
You should all be lucky that Nasser Ali Khan is a part of MAK projects. Isn't it? Residents and the connections what he has, the energy what he has, we should all learn from him. అంటే నిజంగా అసలు రిలేషన్స్ ఎక్కడెక్కడికి కనెక్ట్ చేస్తారో ఎక్కడిక ఏ కంట్రీలో మెయింటైన్ చేస్తారో యూ నేమ్ ఎనీథింగ్ హీ విల్ గెట్ ఇట్ డన్. ఎస్పెషలీ అంటే మన స్టేట్లో కాకుండా మొత్తం ఇండియాలో చేస్తారు, అది కాక వేరే కంట్రీస్లో కూడా చేస్తారు. సో ఐ వాజ్ రిక్వెస్టింగ్ మిస్టర్ నాసర్ అలీ ఖాన్ టు ఇంప్రెస్ అపాన్ మిస్టర్ ఆండ్రూ స్మిత్ ఆల్సో. He says that he's a good friend of you. You are a good friend of him. So we'll see how best he can influence upon you.
Thank you, Ranjit, for your kind words. I really admire you for your success. I'm being very honest, not because he's my friend. He's one of the most successful businessmen among our friends. He's done extremely well globally. You know, doing well in India is one side. He's done extremely well in so many countries. I'm very proud of him, and I'm really happy and thankful that he's taken time and come and inaugurated my house, and I can get some good advice from him. And coming back to two things, one which is requesting for investments in Canada. Telangana is one of the best states to invest for any country. There cannot be a better place in India than Telangana. Our minister is a very dynamic minister, Mr. K.T. Ramarao. He's done extremely well, and Ranjit also helped us get a lot of investment into our state and especially into our thing. And I look forward to working with him, and whatever best I can do for him, I'll be happy. And coming back to the project, as you know, Banyan Tree Retreat is basically an integrated township with sports and infrastructure facilities. We have, in the first phase on 70 acres, we've built about 300 villas with the clubhouse, squash court, tennis court, and spa, salon, and also a theatre. In the phase 2, on about 40 acres, we've built about a golf course with the provision to build 150 custom-built homes. And in the phase 3, we have developed a cricket ground, indoor shuttle court, a yoga room, music, and various other facilities, the indoor shuttle court, with the provision to build 700 houses. And we have a huge requirement and a huge opportunity here. And with friends like him, we expect a lot of government support because this industry is a new industry, and wood is biodegradable, recyclable, reusable, eco-friendly, carbon negative. There are a lot of advantage, and apart from that, it saves water, it saves sand. We don't use any of these. So government of Telangana can, we are not looking at any incentives to the developer as such. Probably, we'll be happy if we can give incentives to the end user, in terms of duty, stamp duty registration, our property registration, and also in terms of municipal tax. So it will be interesting for people to invest in this area. So I'm sure Ranjit will be of great help in this area. And since he is the member of parliament and also very powerful in Delhi and has a lot of friends, I request him to help us with some concession on GST on wood. We will work with him, we will take his appointment, go and meet him, Minister and Panish and myself will call on him in Delhi and I request him for his help. Because Government of India is giving a lot of incentives to electric car, automobile industry because it's non-polluting. Similarly, wood housing also is very good for environment and non-polluting. And I'd like to play a small video on the project for the media. Yes, just a 2-minute video.
Training workshops and wood colleges. Sharing of best practices to help develop local expertise. Additionally, we began supporting the developers by arranging the required architectural and structural engineering support and expertise from Canada to build with wood in India. However, with the passage of time, the art and science of building with wood were lost due to many factors in India, due to loss of forest cover on account of rampant logging, etc., etc. Having said that, the trend of building with wood in India is gaining momentum again as the industry professionals are increasingly rediscovering wood as a building material for its aesthetic beauty and numerous environmental and health benefits, including renewability and a lower carbon footprint. Country homes, farmhouses, and resorts made using wood are increasingly finding favor with customers, in addition to its use in numerous reman applications. FIA has been closely working with leading architects and developers over the last few years to create many masterpieces as demo projects, many of which you have seen here in the video today. And several such projects are not only standing proud across India, but also growing steadily in numbers in tandem with the growing expertise. It's common knowledge that Canada is one of the largest producers of softwood lumber in the world and is acknowledged as a global leader in certification and sustainable forest management. This is for you, sir, that we attach so much importance to certification and sustainability back in Canada, that our forests are going to serve us for centuries, not just decades. So the province of British Columbia is at the forefront of this endeavor in Canada, and it is thus kind of obvious that using Canadian wood species helps sustain not only forests but also mitigate global warming. Rather than hearing the story from me, please take a look at this short video on the story of BC wood. Can I have the video, please?
There are few places on Earth that can match the diversity and richness of Canada's forests. Forests are an important part of Canada's natural ecosystem and central to its economy, making up just under half of its landscape with 8 major forest regions and a vast diversity of wood species. From planting a seedling to manufacturing lumber, the forest sector in British Columbia and Canada is an interconnected industry of forest management and wood processing. This includes planting, tree harvesting with modern, high-tech machinery, and sophisticated wood product manufacturing. The entire cycle is planned around responsible resource management. In British Columbia, forestry and wood product manufacturing are a fabric of our culture, our communities, and our people. Our forests provide a sustainable supply of wood for lumber and mass timber products, while protecting our environmental and social values of wildlife, water, community, economic interests, and First Nations peoples. British Columbia is a global leader in sustainable forest management. Forestry practices in British Columbia ensure that environmental, social, and economic needs are met for current and future generations. This matters to our customers and sets us apart from other supply regions globally. Wood products from British Columbia come from legal, sustainably managed forests. By law, less than 1% of the forests are harvested annually, with 3 trees planted for every single tree harvested. This commitment to forest regeneration results in 200 million new seedlings planted every year, ensuring replenished forests for the future. Canadian wood suppliers provide certified products under the Forest Stewardship Council, FSC, and the Program for the Endorsement of Forest Certification, PEFC. These strict international certification standards add additional assurance of the global protection of forest resources and make Canada a reliable and sustainable provider of wood products. State-of-the-art technology and machinery, incorporated in our forestry practices and through our highly productive, efficient sawmills, support the production of Canada's quality lumber. After harvesting, logs are transported to sawmills for manufacturing. At the sawmill, the logs are cut to target lengths and loaded into a debarking machine to remove the bark. Next, logs are processed through primary breakdown equipment like head rigs and chip-in saws and are turned into lumber. The lumber is then sawed to specific widths and trimmed to specific lengths as it passes through secondary equipment like edgers and trimmers. A scanner will show if the lumber requires any further trimming. Next, the lumber is sorted by thickness, width, length, and sometimes by grade attribute. It is stacked, which may include stacking on sticks for kiln drying. When the lumber is dry, it is ready for final processing. Some lumber goes through a planer mill to be made smooth. Whether planed or rough, the lumber is then graded and trimmed. It is sorted by size and by grade, then finally packaged for shipment. This results in the most efficient yield of the best quality lumber. Once the lumber is packaged and prepared for shipment, it is loaded onto a network of trucks and rail cars for delivery to shipping ports for distribution around the world. Independent studies confirm that the CO2 stored in wood products far outweighs any extra CO2 generated by the efficient manufacturing and shipping of Canadian lumber around the world. Lumber produced from British Columbia and Canada is durable, strong, and versatile. Superior working properties offer design flexibility and durability. Canadian lumber products can be bent, shaped, or assembled as required, making it ideal for countless indoor, outdoor, and structural applications, such as windows, doors, gazebos, and furniture like tables and chairs. Canadian wood species are also easy to face laminate, edge glue and/or finger joint, and standard sizes and grades ensure that the same high-quality product reaches the client each time. Canadian wood products bring warmth and natural beauty to an interior and exterior application or furniture product. It can be sanded to create a smooth surface, has a superior coating adherence, and can easily take any stain or finish. Across Canada and North America, wood products are influencing design and construction, not only for interior and exterior applications, but also the construction of buildings. Mass timber products are changing the way buildings are constructed, allowing for immense spans and taller buildings made of wood. Canadian wood products are being used in a wide range of buildings and products, showcasing the versatility, strength, and durability of lumber from Canadian forests. That is why using Canadian wood is a natural choice.
Thank you for your attention. You can, if anybody is interested, you can get a hard copy of the PDF or the PDF of the script of the video which you've just seen from our agency, who's here represented by Nidhi, or you can ask Nirmala, my colleague here in the front row. Thank you very much. Now continuing with the topic at hand, I would like to highlight India's rich history of building with wood. These These time-tested structures have withstood diverse climatic conditions and are a testimony to the sheer resilience of wood as a building material over centuries. A great example is the Padmanabhapuram Palace Complex near Kanyakumari, spread over 6.5 acres. It is the oldest, largest, and one of the most well-preserved surviving traditional wooden buildings not only in India but also in Asia. Staying true to our commitment, we took another big step forward and collaborated with MAK projects here in Hyderabad to develop and make a fully functional and livable wooden villa as a pilot project at BTR Greens, where we are today. MAK projects will showcase this villa upon completion to its target audience and book orders for customized execution for its customers. BTR Greens is a prestigious and pet project of its CMD, Dr. Nasser Ali Khan, whose vision is to have many such villas running into hundreds if possible, to be built with sustainably sourced and certified wood from BC Canada. This villa is essentially a wood frame construction structure, which is the choice of builders and homeowners in North America. The WST structures incorporate comprehensive waterproofing measures to protect them from heavy rain and moisture ingress, and are designed to withstand seismic undulations and local conditions including wind load, etc. The primary wood species used for constructing the villa is SPF, expandedly we call it spruce, pine and fir, which is stress rated and is known globally for its high dimensional stability. Canadian Wood is pleased to have been associated with MAK in the building and making of this villa and arranging materials and technical assistance from BC Canada for it. Studies have shown that wood has a positive impact on the overall health of humans by creating a happier, healthier, and more satisfied environment for the occupants. Accordingly, this landmark project is aimed at creating a positive impact on the environment in three key areas: sustainable resource use, low carbon footprint, and reconnecting people with nature. I now conclude by saying that we are confident of the potential of building with wood in India and the ability of our skilled workforce available here to quickly learn and adapt to the techniques of building with wood. Our local skill sets and infrastructure to build with wood developed, we will see many such projects coming up across India, and we'd be happy to be part of this revolution. Thank you very much. Over to you, Nasser.
Thank you, Pinish, for the detailed explanation and clarifying on Honorable Member of Parliament Spring, and I think we'll be in touch with His Excellency for his help. And I'd like to personally thank the entire MAK team, starting from Anupam Kapoor to Srinivas Reddy, Satyamurthy, my contractor, my supplier, and my execution partner, Nesca Homes, Mr. PLN is somewhere there, I don't see you. And also, my supplier, Narendra Anand Value Line. Without their support, it couldn't have been possible. I believe that, to be successful, you need a support, help, prayers, and blessings of a lot of people. Nobody can be successful on his own. If to be successful, you need a lot of help, support, and prayers, which luckily I have from friends like Ranjit Reddy Saab, who's very dear to me, and Andrew Smith, everybody, all my suppliers, my contractors, I'm grateful to. And finally, I don't want to take too much time. I want to request Nirmala Thomas, Director Marketing, to say the vote of thanks. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. We will not take much of your time, but thank you, really, media and press representatives, for taking time out and coming today. We've already had a virtual press conference done on October 5th, which your senior editors and other representatives were kind to attend. Thank you for coming, my dear journalists, videographers, photographers, everybody. Just as a closing note, I just wanted to thank, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the chief guest, Dr. Ranjit Reddy, who is the Member of Parliament Lok Sabha, for taking time out and for supporting the cause of Mr. Nasir Ali Khan. A big thank you to the guest of honor. There is Mr. Andrew Smith. Oh, sorry. A big thank you to the guest of honor, Mr. Andrew Smith, Mr. Commercial, High Commission Canada. You have been always very supportive of FIR's initiatives, and you have always kind of helped us out in our efforts in India. Big thank you. And all this would have not been possible without the efforts of the Canadian Wood and MAK team, my fellow colleague Devendra, Anu, then who else? Peter and Stan. Where are you guys? Please stand up. Yes. Stand up, Stan. Come ahead. Stan, come ahead. These are the true builders. They actually were there on site working, building with wood. And the Nesta team, where is the Nesta team? Nesta?
Guys,
PLN?
if you need to take pictures today, take the pictures of these two gentlemen here.
And PLN, where is PLN and Nesca team? They are not present here? Okay, just please call them. Yeah. So, yeah, these are the main people who actually. Yes, very much. I'm just waiting for the Nesca. So, all the workers, contractors, they have been also active for a very long time. They're on the side? Okay, I'll just send it. So whatever you saw today, actually if you had seen it 2 weeks back, it was nothing. It was plain soil, and we laid the foundation, and today what you see, there he is. PLN, come on the front. So that's Nesca. So he has been supporting us a lot with all the work at site, construction, the workers and everybody is from him. And he's based out of Hyderabad also, so he could be a future manufacturer for these wooden villas. Yes, so I hope all the press media has received their kits. We'll be handing out kits just now. In that press kit, we'll also be including a USB. So if you need any more information on us, the Canadian Villa or the MAK project, it's included in a USB. And also we're giving you a small token of appreciation made out of Canadian wood. Please keep it on your tables. This is just to say that wood is forever, it is green and it is sustainable. Thank you very much for coming, and please join us for lunch outside. Yes, please.
I had a meeting with the Trade Commission of Canada, Mr. Vikram Jain. He introduced me to FII for a meeting. Then I personally, with my team, visited Vancouver to see how they're working, what they're doing around that. And I'm very particular, it's not just sustainable, it has to be from a legal source. When I source the material, it has to be sustainable, reliable and legal. And Canada, as far as legality is concerned, is best in the world. So that's one reason why there is wood available in so many countries, Africa and all that. It's cheaper, but we are not looking at wood which is not sustainable. So since I think that's the main reason to go to Canada.
Where did you get the idea to get this villa?
See, wood has been in India for a long time. It's not new to India. In fact, I come from a family where we lived in palaces. So all these old palaces and temples, before concrete was invented, was made out of wood. So somehow concrete invention, people started making in concrete, and they forgot. But the largest, like Parisha mentioned, and the oldest wooden structure, Padmanabha Palace in Tamil Nadu, is in India, in Asia. So wood is not new. We are not reinventing anything. We are going back to nature and we're going back to things. So
can I just add to that, to what he said? The reason why, yeah.
See, the only thing is insulation problem here. Insulation, will you be doing the insulation for the heat and
yes, of course. Wood is very good with weather also. It is good with cold weather and hot weather, and it's been used globally. So India has always had wood buildings. So I think wood is, we have no problem with the weather as such.
Gentlemen here are going to ensure that
We'll stay back and answer all technical
the
questions.
process is followed. The technique is making sure that these challenges are mitigated.
okay, when the event of fire or anything,
inbuilt firefighting system in the house. We're supposed to have an inbuilt firefighting.
All the sprinklers.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So another one question here for Your Excellency, Andrew Smith, that your wife is an architect. Will you be helping
Yeah, both my wife and I are, but we retired from that profession. She's actually an immigration officer in New Delhi, so don't tell anyone.
So how happy you are joining hands with the MAK project? He's got a vision, he's got drive to do all these projects by himself.
I worked with...
It's a big team, you know.
Exactly. No, I'm thrilled to be here. I worked with Canadian Wood in Japan as well, and in China, now here in India. So to have the opportunity to come down and partner with a developer like Mr. Ali Khan has been phenomenal. And I'll tell you, after 18 months of lockdown in Delhi due to COVID, this was the first trip I've taken, and this is the one I wanted to do. So I'm delighted to be here.
Which food will you be supplying to India? Like there's a different type. Here is whatever the wood which don't get the termites. Over there, rose wood is the famous, I believe. And which wood you will be using? I mean, you only using the Canadian wood or you substitute?
Exclusively Canadian wood, and the species in question here is SPF, spruce, pine and fir. Spruce, pine and fir, as I said in my address to the media today, is not only stress rated, but it is known for its stable dimensional properties. And it has got an excellent weight to strength ratio. Sorry? We have not yet worked out the cost here for simply because this is the first time a venture of this nature is being undertaken. There are quite a few factors which don't permit us to arrive at a cost here because a lot of things have been thrown in for which we haven't really paid in rupees, right, or dollars. I'm sorry, I will not be able to answer that as yet.
Could we
Generally, 1.5 times
questions from the media?
Yeah, you wait for 6 months and you will get all the answers once we complete this.
How many visas you coming up with this facility?
No problem with the demand. There's a lot of hidden demand, but people are not able to get it done because material and labor is not available. That's why we have tied up with the government of British Columbia. Great support. If you have any questions for MP, I think exclusively for him because he has to leave. Yeah.
Honorable Chief, how many visas are you buying, sir?
I think there's a question in the back.
I already have 2 here. I already have 2 here.
We'll go to the back.
Can media have one or two questions to get the clarification, please? Is it okay? Yeah. I just wanted to know from the Canadian, project director, what is the kind of wood that is used for the loading capacity? Because that's what takes the load of the house. There may be applications for the finishing and other activities, but for the load bearing capacity, in India, normally teak was used, but now teak is very expensive. And secondly, I'd like to, pose one or two questions and maybe you can answer. Timber woods are very expensive houses. So how do you really look into the cost factor of it? And if it is a bad construction, it could lead to rotting the wood. So the leaks and rotting of wood can also be a big problem at a later stage. So how do you really address these problems?
Okay, so good questions. These are all the questions we're asked at every meeting such as this, you know, durability, termites, weather, cost of wood. To answer your first question, we're using Canadian spruce pine fir for the structural aspects of the house. All the frame you see is SPF. All of that wood is structurally graded in Canada. You know, strength to weight ratio of wood is very high. It's equivalent to steel. So all of the housing in North America, pretty much all of the housing in North America, wood frame housing, is built using SPF, exactly what you see on this project. In terms of the cost of a timber house, you really need to take into account the installed cost. You know, there's a lot of benefits in building with wood in terms of the speed of building with wood, the fact that you can build maybe 6 or 7 or 8 wood frame houses at the same time you can build one concrete house. And there's lots of cost benefits and savings during the life of the building in terms of energy usage, you know. So all the questions you might have about weather, about water ingress, about decay, all of these things are built into the design of the house. You know, there's so many benefits. These houses are built, you know, how do you factor that into the cost equation? You know, if you want to build a house in Muti or on the beach in Goa or in the Himalayas, you know,
Training workshops and wood colleges.
You know, there's so many benefits in building with wood. You know, how do you factor that into the cost equation? You know, if you want to build a house in Muti or on the beach in Goa or in the Himalayas, you know, there's so many benefits in building with wood. You know, you know, there's so many benefits in building with wood. You know, how do you factor that into the cost equation? You know, if you want to build a house in Muti or on the beach in Goa or in the Himalayas, you know, and you need to go up a narrow path. It can be prefabricated, it can be put on a truck, it can be taken anywhere, it can be man-held into the site. So you don't disturb